What's going on, monkeys? Welcome to the next episode of Lake George Amusement Park here at Coaster Monkey Studios, where we are building a realistic American amusement park. That's right, amusement park, not theme park. So this is no Disney, kids. This is 100% mom and pop based medium to low budget amusement park. I almost said theme park. Look at that. So what do we have in store for us today? Well, first off, I want to say congratulations to Coaster Monkey Studios. Woo! By the time this video airs, we will have hit 1,500 subs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So to all of you subs out there, welcome. Thanks so much for joining the channel. I'm so excited to have you guys as a part of the family here. It's been interesting. So if this is your first time joining us and you're listening to all of this excitement about subs, why not sub down below? You are more than welcome to sub and join our crazy little community we've got going on here. What do we do here? Well, we build stuff in PlanCo, we build stuff in Planet 2, and we go to theme parks and do vlogs about it. So that's what our community is here. So what are we doing today? Well, we are starting on infrastructure. Infrastructure is so important when it comes to your parks. I went small for this park, excuse me, because in real life, Canopy Lake's parking lot is its main entryway plaza. I'm not kidding. You literally go from car park to main door. There's no sidewalks, there's no plaza, there's no fountain, no nothing. So everything that we built has been all from the imagination, right? And that's kind of the ideology that I'm going after here, because obviously, IRL, there isn't just this massive gaping hole coming out of the side of a mountain where our guests walk out of, right? So that's what we're doing here. So you're seeing, we kind of set up what that infrastructure looks like. There's a lot of planning involved prior to even placing the first piece down, which you guys saw when we were laying down our asphalt path, right? And all of this here now is the asphalt, excuse me, the asphalt. Oh my goodness. I promise you that is out of nowhere. So this is all the asphalt terrain paint here. And what we did is we took our asphalt path, laid down some lines, and then took some asphalt terrain paint and deleted away our asphalt path. Why did we do that? Well, it's very simple. What that does is it gives us very clean lines and direction, and kind of lays out what we want our roads to look like. Now, granted, this is just an entryway road and two parking lots on either side, one to the left, one to the right. In real life, it's just one parking lot with like a really cheap fence in the middle that separates the main parking from employee parking. But we're going to expand on that. You're going to see that over the next few episodes, where we kind of dig into this parking structure and how we stretch it out over quite a few bits of land, and how we incorporate one of the coasters or one of the rides. I just gave it away. We incorporate the coaster, the main coaster of the park, into the parking lot, which is actually really cool. But as you're seeing here, what we've done is we've already laid down our lines with basic shapes. And now we're coming back and we're putting in lighting and trim work through this area. Now, remember, when we talk about creating realism, it's these finishing touches, like the Spook Central events here from the Ghostbuster pack. Those are so important. That Ghostbuster pack, if you're building anything related to cities or city vibe, I mean, it is a lifesaver for you. It has everything. Even when it comes down to doing asphalt roofs for your buildings in your amusement parks, your theme parks, the asphalt roofs are from the Spooky pack they're phenomenal. They're amazing. That and the Firehouse roofs, I mean, they're just so phenomenal. Really, really great pieces. So what we've done is we've kind of laid this down with the basic intention, and not knowing what's going to happen outside of these two roads when we get to the actual gates of the parking lot, right? And this is where the initial planning starts, because you've got to start thinking about the direction that your roads are taking. With that direction, what are your lanes speaking to? Are they speaking to a left turn? Are they speaking to a right turn? Are they speak to going straight, right? So what tips and tricks can I give you? Well, Google Maps will be your best friend. When you're building any type of infrastructure, Google Maps is going to save your butt, right? Because it's not only going to help you kind of identify the best way to lay out your road work, but it'll also help you out when it comes to like figuring out street markings. Like, I'll be frank with you, I don't drive, right? I barely have been behind the wheel of a car, maybe 6 times in my whole life. And I don't know what road markings look like. Like, I know what they look like, obviously, I've seen them. But I don't know them enough to be able to create infrastructure, right? So that's what I've kind of done here, is I utilize Google Maps to kind of lay out what that infrastructure looks like. I apologize for, you're going to see this a lot still. I think I mentioned this in a couple of videos earlier. There's a flicker that happens between my main video and other videos that I maybe, like my main recording and other videos I may be playing while recording. It's a shadow play issue that I think to this day I fixed. So you're going to see the next few videos it's going to happen, but I think I fixed it. So cross your fingers, kids. I think it's fixed. But yeah, so what we've done is we kind of laid down a base path here with our tram. Now, one thing to really make your streets, your structures come to life is you've got vehicles, right? We've got vehicles that drive on the road. In Lake George, we've got the tram that drives. We've got the, I believe it's called the Classica car ride, if I remember correctly. So we utilize those two things to create interest, create movement, and that movement is so important to really help elevate what you're trying to create when it comes to realism. See, look, there goes a flash. Sorry about that, guys. And it's really as simple as laying out your track work. Once you've started to put down your streets and your lines, lay out your track work and follow the line work with the track, and then bury it just below the surface. And what that does is that gives you that interest, that movement, and creates a little bit of excitement, in my opinion. Especially if you do something like I did, and you'll see at the end of this video, kind of how we did the car ride and how we made it work to our advantage to elevate the overall livelihood of this area. These fences, oh my god! So these fences, this is a great TMTK. There's a couple TMTK items in this one that I'm gonna put up here. We've got the stop sign there. We've got the TMTK fences, but these TMTK fences, they're actually from Knott's Berry Farm, and I don't know where I got them. I've got a whole Knott's Berry Farm collection of TMTK items, but I don't have a Knott's Berry Farm park in my save files. I have no idea what that's about. But yeah, so as you see, we use the temporary fences or temporary gates there, or dividers. We like to call those cattle pen in New York City. Whenever there's a parade, they stick everybody inside of those things. Here we are making some roadway guards. So my thought process on this is that with it being a smaller park, they would have partnered with their local town to kind of set up what this infrastructure on the exterior would look like. For this park, leading out of that tunnel and going to the parking lots itself. So this is kind of where the ideology behind that is, and kind of where my brain is with that. And again, I use a lot of my city-esque eye to pull this together by utilizing the water drums. Because some people drive crazy. You know what I mean? So we got our water drums there as well, right? But yeah, we're gonna get all of this stuff. We're gonna all of this stuff on the listing down below for you guys, so you can pull it from the workshop for TMTK. As far as the dividers, you saw how I made them. You can totally easily make that. So one of the great techniques that I love to use is whenever there's kind of areas that they're not commonly walked in, or like for instance, these corners here are like by this pole, there's going to be weeds, there's going to be things growing out of the ground. This is just it's the way life is, right? And that whole area there where those lines are, that's an area that is not commonly traversed, so it's going to collect dust and dirt, and that's kind of what we did there. We took the stone path, or the stone texture from the terrain paint, and just did a quick little, on low intensity, a quick little dab of it, a couple dabs of it within that space, and then added some dirt as well to create that dirty feeling, like it's not clean asphalt. Now, as we progress through the parking lot, you're going to see we actually do this throughout most of the parking lot as well, to create that worn down asphalt effect. Now, this is a fun technique. If you're ever creating some type of a road barrier, these are another TMTK item, the railway barriers here, and they are 100% triggerable. You can trigger them to go up and down. In their stationary position, they're stuck up, and not in a snooty way. But they're stuck in the up position. And what you can do is you can cover over the railway picture here, like I did there, and then cover it over with signs, a stop sign on one side and a do not enter on the other, and now you've got an exit or entryway to a parking lot. Really simple, easy way to pull that together. And then these are awesome. So this is Hydro, 100%. Hydro is the man. Hydro road signs, dude. The stop signs, the arrow signs. He created a whole roadway collection in Blender and imported into the game for TMTK. And when I tell you, I mean, these are my savior whenever it comes to any type of roadwork stuff or anything having to do with road markings. It's so much easier. And they're cleaner and they're realistic, you know what I mean? Whereas, I mean, I could use basic shapes, but they're not realistic. They're not as realistic as these. These are spot on. Now, coming into this next portion here, this is going to be interesting to watch. So, remember I was talking earlier about taking your roadway lines and putting your roadway lines down and then having the track for the ride kind of come through. That's what we wind up doing here. And you're going to see that on film. Listen like it's film. You're going to see it on camera in a moment. And what we do is we actually take that track work and we line that track work up and kind of get it to go exactly where we want it to go. Now, another good trick is to do this at nighttime. So you can see that green outline of the roadway underneath the terrain, and you don't have to worry about lifting up and pulling down the ride every time you want to make a track adjustment. You just do it at night and you can see the outline of the ride track highlighted in the green. And this is that trick I was talking about with removing, like taking the pathway terrain away and then repainting the surface in the asphalt coloring given to us in the city biome. And there's your kind of overall look, which I love this. It's a great overall shot for you guys of kind of the infrastructure and the direction we're taking it. Right? And this is simple infrastructure. If we wanted to go crazy, we could do like roadways. We can go all the way around. You know, we ain't doing any of that right now. But another great trick too is if you want to get really clean, smooth curvature of your lines, use the smallest piece there, like I'm doing in the basic shapes. And what that small piece does, it gives a really clean line when you're turning it right? Look at how smooth that is. It doesn't even look like that they're individual pieces. It looks like one uniform line, which is great. It's exactly what we're going after. So these boxes here, they're going to wind up being our ticket booths, which will be coming in a future episode. You're going to see those, which will be super fun. Really love building those. Those were, I mean, it was a little bit of fun, a little bit of crazy, and IRL, I think those ticket booths took me like 2.5 hours to build, only because of the sign. And you'll see when we get to there later on. Oh my God, it's so crazy. And there you go. Look at how easy was that by lining up the in-game path asphalt with our lines on the edge, and then using that as our line edging. And now we delete all the pathway and come back in with the asphalt terrain paint. And look, see how I'm spotting in the stonework there? You saw what I did there? That gave that kind of look. Now, mind you, this winds up changing. That center area winds up becoming a dirt patch right here. But I kind of like this better than having the painted over asphalt. Putting a little bit of nature in there. It works with the area. The area is very tree heavy, right? So many people have asked me, like, how did I make this area? What have I done, to make this area look so much alive? And it really comes down to every single detail, going after every single detail. Look at the variations in the terrain paint, making sure that you're crossing every T and dotting every I as you're laying down your vision, overlaying it, going over with your eye again and again and again. And making sure that there is not one stone unturned as you're laying this out. Speaking of turning, the flipping car. But that's what gives it life. That's what brings it to life. There's so much vibrancy in a static image of this area because there's so much going on. Your eye is kind of drawn to so many different places. Now, mind you, we don't want to clutter it too much. We want to keep the composition of what we're going after clean and with clear purpose and definition, right? So we don't want to go too cluttered, but in the same breath, we want to make sure we're giving it a good amount of energy. Now, I think I'm going to wind up moving these lamps. In real life, these wouldn't be plugged into the stonework. I think it would be just behind. So I may wind up moving those along that fence work there, behind our stone wall. I think it just makes more sense. All right, now what's great coming up at the end of this episode in about 2 minutes, not even less than a minute, we're gonna have a live portion come up at the end of this video. You're gonna kind of get to see a surprise because there's some missing video again, thanks to our shadow play. But there's gonna be a bit of a surprise. So hold on to your horses, kids. It's coming right up. Catch you in about 30 seconds in our live portion of the video. All right, guys. So at this point now, you guys have pretty much seen this shot on social. If you follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, any of the Facebook groups, or even Discord. But what you haven't seen is what we're shooting out of. Right, so this little reveal is all for you guys. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Oh my goodness! Check that out. So, thanks to our little hiccup that we've been having with shadow play, I lost an entire build. Like, this was 6 hours worth of work, which was frustrating. Yeah, obviously there's edge work that needs to get done on all of the rock work, and then some really much better nature, but obviously we stuck trees in just to make it look nice really quickly. But we're going to go back and do all of that. But yeah, so this is my Art Deco inspired tunnel entrance. Why do we do an Art Deco inspired tunnel entrance? Well, it's simple. Monkeylandia is uber Art Deco. So we kind of went with that, and this takes you to Monkeylandia. Coach cars on the left, cars on the right. And yeah, so what did we do here? Well, we lined out the facade with some TMTK concrete, and then built these flanks on either side with the TMTK concrete. Threw up some sci-fi cabling. Are those cables? Would you call those cables? Tubing? And some TMTK angels. Kind of gave it that vibe. And then follow with that Art Deco vibe along the front here. As you can see, utilize some of the trellis work that is in-game. Put that up there to hold up our signs. And the signs are simply basic shapes with TMTK lettering, hydro beams, and some lighting. These squares and rivets are basic shapes and TV holders. TV screen holders, not TV holders, but so you can kind of see there. And then in here, what we've done is we've taken our sci-fi exploding wall and we've just copied and pasted, did some sci-fi lighting, and then sunk in some of our floodlights. And then this is what it looks like from the inside here. Whoop. We're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like on the inside. And again, very simple build. Nothing too crazy, you know, in-game fencing. We did some, excuse me, sorry about all the curious camera work. TMTK fire extinguisher. We've also got the fire hose reel. And then we're going to come over here and then we're going to go into nighttime so you can kind of see what this looks like. So I was debating on lighting up the front facades. I want you guys, let me know what you think. Should I light up the exterior facade more? Right? Because IRL, it wouldn't be lit up, right? So maybe it would have a name across the front of it, like, you know, Lake George Tunnel Access or something like that. I don't know. You guys think of it. If you want to give me a name, put a name down in the comments of what this is going to look like. If it's going to have a name, and we'll throw a name on the front of that. But yeah, so that's what the interior looks like. Again, those flood lightings are kind of really set up there, nice and clean. And then, whoop, oh, there we go. And then we've got our, oh my God, camera. We've got our signs. It's very bright on the inside. Whoops, sorry. Very bright on the inside because IRL, that's what the inside looks like. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can kind of see in the background there. You know, you guys are going to see those builds coming soon. But what I did want to show you next, in this episode, you saw me editing out the track for our tram. There's also the track for our car ride, which unfortunately, that gets lost in the sauce as well with the recording. The recording's just vanishing. So I want to show you what the inside of this looks like. So this is how I got away with doing just a huge gaping hole in the side of our build here. And as simply put, we just put up blackout screens. It's the blackout 4x4 wall. You can get this on the workshop. I kept going to say warehouse. You get on the workshop and that blacks out all of this mess. So what's going on back here? Yeah, a lot of mess. So we've got our car ride that comes in here. We've got our tram ride that drives through here. We've got the entranceway that comes in, and we've got the actual station for our car ride, just to mimic the idea of, you know, cars driving through. So yeah, that's it. That's what we've got going on here. This is the secret entrance, which has been hidden. Well, let me turn off the light. Hidden from you guys that I've been trying to hide. But yeah, there we go. You're going to see a lot more of this coming in this next episode because we're going to be doing a lot of the building of what you're seeing out here, outside of this in the next episode. But yeah, that is our Art Deco tunnel entrance. I thought it was super fun, super cool. It looks a little plain Jane to me, but I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it. It's very New York. So yeah, that's it. That's where we're going to leave off this episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Coaster Monkey Studios and our Lake George inspired build, or sorry, Canopy Lake inspired build. Lake George Amusement Park. Let me know if you guys want to see anything specific, anything coming. We got a lot of exciting episodes coming in the next few. So stay tuned, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks so much, and catch you later. Ciao.